News in the Iran-Israel conflict. President Donald Trump revealing when the U.S. could get involved. It comes after Iran bombed an Israeli hospital. CBS's Erica Brown is at the White House.
The White House says President Trump is waiting to make a final decision on whether to attack Iran. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt read a direct quote from the president this afternoon.
Based on the fact that there's a substantial chance of negotiations that may or may not take place with Iran in the near future, I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks.
Multiple sources tell CBS News the president believes disabling Fordow, Iran's most secure nuclear site, is necessary because of the risk of Iran producing nuclear weapons in a relatively short period of time.
Let's be very clear. Iran has all that it needs to achieve a nuclear weapon.
Israel has targeted Fordow, but doesn't have the heavy weaponry the U.S. could provide.
If you talk to Israelis on the street, they would really like to see the Americans come in. But if the Americans don't come in, I think there's confidence that Israel's going to be able to do some damage to that facility on its own.
And what may be an attempt to influence the president's thinking on the conflict, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu delivered remarks in English Thursday saying he trusted President Trump's judgment on Iran.
They strung him along. You don't string along Donald Trump. He knows the game. And I think that we're both committed to making sure that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon.
Netanyahu made the comments while visiting a hospital in southern Israel that was hit by an Iranian airstrike Thursday, injuring dozens. A large number of Israelis were also hurt in a missile attack on high-rise buildings outside Tel Aviv. It comes as Israel said it struck a heavy water reactor in Iran. Erica Brown, CBS News, the White House.
So what would a U.S. involvement look like if Trump decides to get involved? Well, we asked retired U.S. Army Colonel Gerald Faunt.
There would be little benefit for us to do boots on the ground in Iran. However, pre-positioning other additional forces to include soldiers, sailors, Air Force, and Marine personnel in the region to protect U.S. interests, i.e. bases that we currently occupy, et cetera, would be a possibility.
A YouGov poll shows that most Americans don't want to get involved in the conflict. 60% don't think the U.S. military should be used. 16% support using U.S. forces. 24% were unsure. The conflict now impacting gas prices. AAA says the national average for a gallon of regular is $3.19. That's up 7 cents from last week.